Hello, welcome to Rebel Base, IGN's weekly Star Wars show. So you might have noticed this isn't Daniel Krupa, this is Alex Simmons, because Krupa is off gallivanting, seeing some games and stuff. But the show must go on.
I'd like to make a joke about something about how I am his father, but I'm not, I'm his boss. But that doesn't really resonate in the same way with Star Wars. Like if Darth Vader had said, I am your boss. Yeah. It's a bit pathetic, isn't it?
Well, he's a lot of people's bosses, so he'd be saying it quite a lot in the film as well, wouldn't he? Yeah,
if I was Darth Vader, I'd just go around just saying, I'm your boss, I'm your boss.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm not Darth Vader.
Yeah. But I can't believe Krupa's allowed to leave the office on the week of May the 4th, on Star Wars Day week, and he's allowed to go off to this game. This game better be freaking good, whatever it is.
Unfortunately, it's not a Star Wars game.
It's not.
But lots of Star Wars news did break.
It did indeed. So it started on May the 1st, when Josh Trank left Anthology 2. So he was meant to be directing this film, which a lot of people are saying, although not confirmed, is going to be a Boba Fett film. And Josh Trank was involved for a year, but left and issued a statement. And this is what the statement said. After the year of having the incredible honor of developing with the wonderful and talented people at Lucasfilm, I'm making a personal decision to move forward on a different path. The Star Wars universe has always been one of my biggest influences, and I couldn't be more excited to witness its future alongside my millions of fellow Star Wars fans. May the Force be with you all.
So it was rumoured for a long time that things were a little bit shaky. He didn't turn up at Star Wars Celebration.
He didn't,
but why would you leave a Star Wars film that you are directing of your own accord, unless there's something very, very wrong?
He's a 30-year-old guy as well, so he's pretty young. He's gone from Chronicle to Fantastic Four to Star Wars.
That is one hell of a CV.
Yeah, and, you know, as he said, he's been developing for a year. Would you develop something for a year and then move away from it? Like, what is happening there?
There's got to be something going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
We were talking earlier, it's like, if you're heading up a Boba Fett movie, the expectation around that is going to be huge.
Massive, yeah.
And if you're not going to deliver on that, or if Disney thinks that you're not going to deliver on that, you're going to do something about it pretty sharpish. So I think there is definitely some underhand tactics going on there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of sort of insider stuff. The Hollywood Reporter reported on quite a lot of different stuff, and it said that, you know, on the set of Fantastic Four, there were rumours from this particular insider that he was quite erratic and, you know, was quite isolated and didn't really sort of guide the film as well as he should have. But then, you know, it's a huge movie to be a part of and actually taking, you know, pushing forward. And Simon Kinberg, who also produced that, you know, he must have maybe had a hand in whether or not, you know, he was going to move on to different things. Obviously, we don't know. Yeah. But, I mean, they're on the look for another director now for this, you know, reportedly Boba Fett film. I don't know, I kind of would like to have seen what he did with it.
Yeah, but I think, you know, like you said, he was 30 years old. He's gone from Chronicle to Fantastic Four. He may have had the vision to put together a great film, but not the experience. And what good is a director if he cannot control his team of people who are going to bring that vision to life?
I guess so. I think one of the insider thing, one of the quotes was, it's like an NBA player, you know, who gets like drafted at a young age maybe, and then, you know, it has all the skill and has all this stuff, but doesn't actually have the sort of like personality to be able to get that skill across. Yeah. I mean, 30 is quite young. I mean, but tell you what though, someone else who's 30 next month, so me, so if they're looking for another director who are along the same age, you know.
Who constantly turns up drunk, slightly erratic.
Raw talent.
Perfect.
You know, that's me, that's what they should be going.
Great stuff.
The other stuff that was happening, so Vanity Fair.
Yeah.
So Vanity Fair are doing this huge sort of Annie Leibovitz shot cover feature all about The Force Awakens.
Loads of reveals came out of this issue.
Absolutely insane.
I just wasn't expecting that much information. The first piece of information that came out was confirming what we kind of thought already, that Gwendoline Christie is Captain Phasma. Yeah. The badass stormtrooper in the chrome outfit.
I mean, we pretty much predicted that. Yeah. Like, I predicted it from the way that she moved.
From the walk. It's all in the walk.
It's all in the walk, and I've watched her walk quite a lot in Game of Thrones, and I recognised that that was how she moved her limbs. Yeah. That's what you get on this show. Limb chat.
Right.
So
we don't know that much else about, apart from she is a member of the First Order.
That's right.
And within the Vanity Fair piece, they hinted that it might not be as black and white, that, you know, she might not be all that evil. We just don't know. Yeah. But obviously, from the picture that's shown of her standing in before it was like a burning building, she looks pretty like evil there.
Yeah. Well, I think that's going to be one of the main things of the film is like, you know, this First Order is doing things a little bit differently to the Empire, and I think, it's not going to be like dark side, light side. It's going to be a lot of sort of like grey areas going on, and you know, I think we're going to be left to make up our own minds for, you know, what's going on, which I think is really, really cool.
Well, same with John Boyega. We don't know whether he's dressed as a stormtrooper, but is he actually a good guy? We don't know.
Exactly, yeah. The other thing as well was Kylo Ren. Like, this is, again, another massive reveal. It was just like, in this video, like, oh yeah, this guy's just Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
So that's the guy that we've been talking about? Yeah, that's him. Like,
so Adam Driver.
Yeah, Adam Driver. I watched the video first, and it just has him in the sort of black robes that we recognise from both trailers, which is amazing. So you haven't seen him, you know, take off his mask or anything like that. And I wonder how much time he will actually be in the mask for.
Yeah. Well, so the shot itself depicts him in a kind of snowy, Hoth-like kind of landscape, supported by two kind of snowtroopers, who, of course, have got like the more modernised outfits. Like, the one thing that I noticed about that picture is that compared to the old snowtroopers, they look like almost have like active camouflage, like really blending into the background. Now I know it's white on white, and that makes me sound slightly stupid. But there is something about that shot that makes them look, I don't know, different from the kind of snowtroopers of old.
Because I looked at this after you said it, and I was on board, but I think it might. I'm not sure. I think it just might be the way that they framed the photo. So they wanted the focus to be on Adam Driver, so they're slightly out of focus, I think. But that'd be really cool if there was like reactive like camouflage.
They've got to do something more than just add a different visor and a little kind of underskirt. Which is what I think snowtroopers wear.
I'm really glad that it's Adam Driver though. Like, I've just finished the latest series of Girls Now, where he is like criminally underused in that show. But he does mental psycho really, really well. And I think if they can sort of bottle that, like how good he is as Adam in Girls, into a Star Wars thing, he's going to be a complete badass. Like, I can't wait for that.
Yeah, and you definitely need him without the mask. You want to see some of that kind of
definitely,
craziness coming through on camera. So, like you, I cannot wait to see his performance.
Now, one of the other coolest things as well is we finally got to see Lupita Nyong'o, and she is playing a CGI character called Maz Kanata. Lupita Nyong'o, Maz Kanata. I feel like I got through that pretty well, to be honest. So she's going to play an entire CGI character, and she's a pirate who lives in a castle with travellers, smugglers, and other assorted riffraff. Now, there's a really cool picture of all of them standing there, and there's quite a couple of cool, really things on it. So one of them, there's a character that's taken straight from like an old action figure design, which is very, very cool.
Really,
like a human character,
that's pretty
taken from like an old action figure design. And there's a droid as well, which looks a lot like Ralph McQuarrie's like early drawings of C-3PO, which looks really, really good as well. So like, and there's a lineup of sort of general riffraff and things like that. But we had an email from a guy called Nick Smith who watches the show, and he pointed this out, and we've like done a story on the site actually, that the alien hand and face that we see handing over Anakin's lightsaber in the teaser could possibly be played by Lupita Nyong'o, maybe, because she's a pirate, she gets access to all this different stuff. Maybe she comes into possession of the lightsaber, and you know they've gone to this castle to try and break it out or try and steal it, maybe.
Yeah, the whole kind of premise behind it sounds like Jabba's palace.
Yeah, definitely.
Obviously, you know, had Han Solo in carbonite there. Is this another kind of artifact from the old era that's been carried across? I don't know.
I think that's right, yeah. And the last bit of news we had from the Vanity Fair article is that J.J. Abrams wanted to kill Jar Jar Binks.
Right, join the queue.
Yeah, so he said, there's a little quote from him saying, "I have thought about putting Jar Jar Binks' bones in the desert. I'm serious, only 3 people will notice, but they'll love it."
So I've got a little known Star Wars fact.
Okay.
Do you know what J.J. Abrams' middle name is?
No.
It's Binks.
Is it?
Jar Jar Binks Abrams, yeah.
That's not
and
true.
That's why he wants... No, of course it's not.
For a second I was like, what? How do I not know this? It's time for another edition of Force Feedback. Such a great name for such a great segment. Alex, you want to kick us off?
So first email is from Richard Burrows, who says, "Hi guys, in last week's episode, Krupa mentions the possibility of a cult surrounding Darth Vader and him becoming this mythical fallen angel type figure that remains in the remains of the Empire. Now this reminded him of something in the book, Lords of the Sith, and one character is mentioned when talking about Vader that the Stormtrooper Corps almost worships him. So he thinks that we're onto the right track with that kind of theory. Or are we just kind of reading too much into it?
I actually think it's a really good point. I think maybe Kylo Ren is possibly not even part of the First Order. Like, we've seen him with the Stormtroopers and stuff, but I think maybe the First Order are trying to do one thing and he is part of it, but he's a lot more militant and he's a lot more dark side sort of thing. Or, you know, and we see maybe there's like a friction between him and Phasma. I think that's a really, really good, you know, a really good shout. What's going to happen?
And obviously Vader was the kind of the visible front of the Empire, much more so than the Emperor, I would say.
Definitely.
So it would make a lot more sense for him to kind of be this kind of the fallen angel, the kind of character that the new dark side kind of wants to live up to.
I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think like we're going to see a lot more sort of infighting between the actual like First Order, and not just sort of, as you said, like before, it's not going to be like good versus evil. It's not going to be as clean cut.
Yeah.
But he says something else, right?
He does. He says, I think force feedback is a great name for the segment. Good work, Gav. Now this kind of interests me. Now it's my first time on the show.
Yeah.
But I kind of came up with the name force feedback around 6 months ago.
Yeah,
so,
I don't remember that happening.
But like, yeah, good work, Gav. Good work.
I generally don't remember it happening. Krupa hates it though, so if you did, you need to deal with it.
He hates it when you came up with it. He loved it when I came up with it.
Okay, our other piece of feedback this week then is from Gerard Watkins, nice Welsh name, who says, "Hi guys, this is purely speculation on my part, but have you thought of the possibility that the future film series could be leading to a light side, dark side battle between Finn and Rey, with The Force Awakens, the origin of how the characters meet and fall into their respective roles, with Kylo Ren serving as a Palpatine/Dooku mentor for future films? As I said, it's just a theory, would like to hear your thoughts."
Yeah.
So, like, you know, as we said, if, you know, Kylo Ren and Captain Phasma are having this sort of like infight, maybe they're setting up, you know, that you would think maybe it's not going to be as plain sailing as that. They're not going to be like, hey, you guys are basically the guys from New Hope, and now you're going about doing like cool stuff as well. Like, there's going to be some friction. There's going to be, we're entering a world that we don't even know. Force Awakens isn't going to look anything like any of the Star Wars worlds that we've known, because it's so far has passed and so much stuff has happened. And the characters are going to have changed and politics are going to have changed. Like, we're not going to recognize it at all. So I don't think it's going to be as easy as all that. And
the thing I love about the Star Wars universe is that things aren't as immediately apparent as they first seem. Like, obviously, you know, Vader, you've got the bad guy who eventually becomes the good guy. You've got Han Solo, who is a smuggler and he does all kinds of bad things, but he gets the princess in the end. So, you know, all the kind of options are open. So I just think, you know, I love these kind of theories, but what will actually happen? I don't know.
We don't actually know, but we do like guessing. Let us know if you have any theories that you'd like us to read out. rebelbase@ign.com. So this week saw May the 4th come and go, and every year now it seems like there's just more and more stuff going on. Like, it's become an actual Star Wars day.
I literally could not look at Twitter without somebody tweeting something, sometimes good, sometimes absolutely terrible.
Mostly absolutely terrible. So we thought we'd run through some of our favourite weird and wonderful things that went down on May the 4th. So the first thing happened is a lot of the cast were tweeting.
So the somewhat unpredictable Carrie Fisher came out saying, "It being May the 4th, fortheth me to say to all you lispers in Spain and out, radioactivity may soon be our sole means of exmouthide," which is actually really quite hard to say.
That's really hard to say. I also don't know what it means.
No, but that's part of the charm, right? Like, reading between the lisps, it's like, "It being May the 4th, forces me to say to all you lispers in Spain and out, radioactivity may soon be our sole means of exercise?"
Exercise? Yeah, I don't know. Anthony Dan is a little bit less cryptic, but it's really hard, after you read out the Carrie Fisher one, it's really hard not to read things out and not think that you're doing a lisp. So Anthony Daniel says, "For all you on the 4th, the biggest force hug ever attempted. Ready? There. Nothing? Are you perhaps from the dark side?" He says. So there's a little joke there from him.
An attempt at a joke.
There's a little joke, he said, that's fine.
And then finally, the most sense comes from Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker himself. He says, "I cannot believe Star Wars Day is a thing. To have been in a movie that gets its own day, and I thought they couldn't top the postage stamps."
Oh, that's actually quite cute, isn't it?
It's very, very cute. The second of the weird and wonderful things to come out of Star Wars Day was the Force Awakens trailer that we created in clip art. And it's kind of, well, it's a bit odd, but it's definitely wonderful.
It's really funny. Like, I watched it, like, the guys in the US have made it, and it's really, really funny. So basically using, like, all kinds of, like, free clip art, and a lot of it has, like, the watermark from different sites and stuff on it. It's such a good idea, and I think, it really, really made me laugh.
Like, my favourite scene is the Han Solo and Chewbacca scene, and I'm not going to say what it is, but you should check it out. It's on site right now.
Yeah, it's really good. So one of my favourite things is brands. Brands on Twitter trying to get involved with May the 4th to sort of excruciating levels of success.
Now, you say favourite, but you really mean, like, cringeworthy, because
really cringe,
so awful.
So there's a couple of really good ones, there's a couple of really bad ones, okay? So I've picked my favourite ones and my least favourite ones.
Okay.
So I'm going to see if you can guess what angle these brands have come at it, right?
Okay.
So this is a hard one, actually, so you're just going to have a look at it. But it's Intel, right?
Right.
So, and they've gone for the "I am your father." So it's a floppy disk talking to the cloud, saying, "I am your father." And then the cloud's going, "No." because everything's not on disc anymore. It's on the cloud, isn't it?
Right, okay.
I like that one. I thought it was really good.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So, how on earth would I have ever guessed that?
Okay, you're not going to guess that. You can guess the tagline for this one then. So McDonald's Canada. So they've got a picture of two fries crossed.
Yeah.
What have they gone for? It's a Star Wars line, a very famous one.
May the fries be with you.
Nope.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
McDonald's.
Yeah.
Oh man. The fries are strong in this one.
No.
No?
No.
I don't know. Put me out of my misery.
Do or do not. There is no fry.
Okay.
And the McDonald's Philippines.
They were your good ones, right?
The McDonald's Philippines, which is this one here. Can you guess what they've gone for? None of the ones that you've said. Use the Force, Fry Walker.
Oh my God! Honestly.
Those are the best ones.
Please don't ask me to guess them because it's more painful for myself and anybody watching this.
Okay, so one of the bad ones then. This just doesn't make any sense at all. So this is Chevy, who've just got a picture of the moon and like a really poorly superimposed thing of their car, and it says, "That's no moon. It's a Chevy Sonic."
Amazing.
It's like, I love them trying to get involved with it. You just know that this is literally someone's job to come up with these tweets. Yeah. And do you think they come up with that and they were just like, Friday afternoon, they were like, nailed it. Come on.
So I saw a few myself. Now I saw Walker's Crisps, which is Lay's in the US.
Yeah.
There had a picture of a crisp packet.
Yeah.
And it was, the bacon is strong in this one. Which is like, that's not even a play on words. It's just utter tripe.
Someone hasn't bothered with that one.
And then the one that I saw this morning was from the Royal Mail.
Right.
Who obviously didn't have anybody manning their social media site yesterday because it was a bank holiday. Yeah. And then just said, what was your favourite moment from yesterday? Tweet us and let us know. And it's like, what?
I want to be involved.
It's too late. Star Wars Day was yesterday, not today. But that's classic Royal Mail, always turning up late.
Red Lobster's one. Red Lobster's got two.
Okay.
Right? So they've gone with, the actual text on the tweet was, I am your lobster.
Right.
So I am your father.
Is that it? It's just basically replacing a famous part of a Star Wars quote with your product, and that's it.
And then there's for the photo though, there's two forks crossed, and may the fork be with you.
I've got a better one.
Really?
If it was me, I would Photoshop a shellfish in an X-wing, and it would be Red Lobster standing by.
That's actually really good. That's really good. By far the worst one though, right, is Southwest Airlines, who tweeted a picture of one of their flight attendants in a stormtrooper helmet, sort of pointing, and it says, use the fares, Luke, as in like airfares.
Okay.
That's one of the worst ones ever. So some of them good, some of them not so good.
Yeah.
Hopefully next year they'll maybe try a little bit harder. That's not going to happen.
You would hope so.
Yeah.
Or ask me. I'm really good. I came up with that one on the spot.
That's actually really good, to be honest. Yeah. The next one, the White House are even getting involved, and they tweeted a picture of Obama wielding a lightsaber on the White House lawn. Like, now it's a picture from a while back, but that's pretty amazing to see the President of the United States of America wielding a lightsaber like a child.
You would not see that in the UK. You wouldn't see David Cameron, I don't know, trying to force push Nigel Farage off a building or something like that. That would be cool.
Actually, I think it was one of the really weird things that I saw was Sinn Féin released a video, like a Star Wars parody, trying to get people out to vote, and it's someone knocking on the door, and there's a stormtrooper there, and someone from Sinn Féin going, "So who you going to vote for?" It's brutal, like absolutely brutal. So an actual good one now. So Secret Cinema, who are hosting the Empire Strikes Back screenings over the summer. We've done something on the show before. You can check it out there. They hosted a very special Rebel X event. So it was like 3,000 people gathered in Alexandra Palace in London. And it was for a night of sort of like just weird stuff. So they all sort of gathered and took this like big picture on the massive lawn with this drone, took a photo of. And that's really, really cool. But it's kind of just to like relaunch the fact that they're selling more tickets and things like that. But like DJ Yoda was there doing a set, there's a bunch of other music stuff, and it just looked like a big sort of like nerd party. It looked really cool. Because
the first wave sold out like really, really quickly.
That's right,
Second wave of tickets is on sale now, so if you want to check out Empire Strikes Back in London, be sure to get your ticket fast.
Yes, and the final thing, and this is by far the coolest thing, is NASA tweeted a picture saying that they were actually watching Star Wars in space. They put on a screening of Star Wars in space.
But of all the films to pick,
I know. It's
they
really
picked The Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
Which I guess, you know, you've got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
But go for A New Hope.
I know. people are really annoyed about that as well, that they've gone for one of the prequels rather than Star Wars. But, you know, maybe it's not that big of an issue for scientists. But you'd think as scientists and as space astronauts... Some
of the smartest people
in the world, universe. That they would maybe skip over those. Maybe it was the only one they could get, though. You don't know. How would they have to have it on them? Can they download stuff?
I was going to say Netflix streaming up to the NASA space station. It's not that good. The bit rate's pretty slow.
Yeah. But it's still really cool. I love seeing astronauts actually getting involved with Star Wars and things like that. When I was a kid, I went to visit a lot of the sort of bases as a school trip competition thing that I won. And on one of this morning, that we were having this sort of lecture by this astronaut who'd not very soon before come back from actual space. Right. He had a guitar with him and he sang the entire Weird Al Phantom Menace song for us in the morning. It was the beginning of his lecture.
Right.
As a little space nerd and a Star Wars nerd at 15 years of age, it was probably the best thing I've ever seen. An actual astronaut singing a song to me about Star Wars.
Were you not creeped out by that?
No, I thought it was awesome. So those are the coolest things that we saw from May the 4th. What did you see? Let us know. rebelbase@ign.com.
And for all things Star Wars, keep it locked right here on IGN.